home smart display. Right?
We were expecting it to be like an iPad on a stand.
Gonna arrive in 2025. The base that it's connected to is also expected to have a speaker. That's the rumor. It's gonna control your smart lights, your smart doors, your garage door, everything smart you have in your home.
It's coming. It's coming.
And that's a great moment for Apple to launch this. And once again, it's gonna be a real thing.
Hey guys, welcome to PhoneArena show. It's so exciting to be here again with Vic, and we have great new topics to talk about. First off, we have the new Apple product category, which doesn't happen very often.
The next big thing.
The next probably big thing. It's interesting. It's new Apple device product category. That's going to be very interesting. Then moving on to the upcoming iOS 18.2.
Which doesn't sound exciting.
It doesn't, but it's gonna be a very significant update because
of the magic word AI, Apple Intelligence,
AI.
is finally in its more or less final form. It's coming soon.
Yeah, because they're just releasing now iOS 18.1 has the initial version, official release for Apple Intelligence, but it's gonna be very limited.
Yeah.
So 18.2 is gonna, bring a lot more of that. And then finally, we're gonna talk about the future, basically. Is it the future? No, it's the future of the best foldable phone ever made, which we all know is the OnePlus Open.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Sadly not sponsored.
Here we have the absolute ambassador of the OnePlus Open in the world.
Just another happy consumer of the OnePlus Open, but we're going to talk about the OnePlus Open 2 and what we can expect from it, because we have the first legit, real big
leak, yeah,
for the Open 2 / Oppo Find N5, and also we're going to touch on the fact that it turns out Samsung can make a decent foldable, only it cannot sell it internationally, just in South Korea. That's what's happening.
Such a bummer.
But they have a real foldable phone. That's not.
Is it a slim one?
That's not coming from the Middle Ages. Yeah, it's slim.
Real slim phone from Samsung.
It's lighter. It's a real competitor. We're going to talk about it, but first let's begin with the supposed rumored leaked new Apple product category, which will probably come next year.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
so it's gonna be a home smart display.
So it's gonna be like a robot arm, meaning that it's gonna be able to grab like this apple, slice it up, add in some yogurt, maybe
5 or 10 years from now, but probably not next year.
Right, gotcha.
But yeah, for the first time we're hearing that this thing is actually real, it's coming, and it's gonna be the next bet that Apple makes on some new category.
Yeah.
It has ditched the Apple Car project, which was supposed to be a huge project. The Apple Vision Pro is obviously not super popular. It's still going, some development is going on, but it needs something new, something fresh, and it has.
But it's been rumored for a while that they're working on it.
Yeah,
like a smart home display.
Rumors.
Home smart display.
Yeah, we've heard those rumors for a while, but now we are hearing something a lot more specific, a lot bigger, and we're finally hearing that yes, it's coming. It's gonna arrive in 2025, so it's gonna be a real thing.
And that info is coming from.
It's coming from our favorite Mark Gurman from Bloomberg. As you know, probably the biggest Apple insider.
Legit guy.
A legit guy, so yeah, great track record. So what we know about this home smart display is, first, it doesn't have a name. But second, it's gonna bring some old school Apple vibes. Rumor is it's gonna look a bit like the G3 iMac, which for those of you who don't remember or haven't seen the image, is that round, old school style of
kind of
all-in-one.
Like Wally.
Yeah, yeah, you could say so. It was colorful. It was very memorable. Of course, you see a picture on your screen of that computer. what it looks like. So this new product is gonna look something like that.
Because it has like a screen
There
and
is
like a base,
There is a screen and a base
and they are connected somehow.
with that crazy
Because
robotic
it
arm.
needs to, because you gotta have to be able to turn it around, like, or maybe it's gonna follow you automatically as you move around the room.
Yeah, that's probably the idea. So let's try and decipher what this is and how people are gonna use it. So basically, you have a. Let's start with the products that is gonna arrive in. So you have the Home Smart Display first version next year, which will have a smaller screen. And then you have a next version in 2026, which will have a larger screen. It's going to be the premium model. But Apple obviously wants to kind of sell you into that vision with a cheaper device first.
And so, most of these products that are already out there, because there are similar things,
Yeah.
they don't look like Wall-E, but
They
like smart home displays.
they serve a similar
it's like
part.
the Amazon Echo stuff.
The Amazon
you
Echo
know.
is the best example. Yeah,
Right,
they have
yeah.
Alexa.
Most of those are pretty cheap, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are not super expensive products.
Yeah, we were talking about those other competitors cost around $200, maybe a bit more, a bit less.
So the Apple one's obviously gonna cost more.
The Apple one is gonna cost more, and we're hearing the first number for the premium model that's coming in 2026 is gonna cost around $1,000.
Okay.
But this immediately launching next year version, we don't know the price, but obviously it's gonna be cheaper. So
yeah.
it's gonna be, I would bet, around $600, $500, something in that ballpark is a possibility. But of course, that's just a guess.
So
right?
we were expecting it to be like an iPad on a stand.
That's what we thought. But it's not quite that, because the screen itself is actually square, and it will be just
Something
like,
approaching a square.
or something approaching a square. It's just going to be like two phones placed
It's gonna
right
be like
next.
a foldable
It's going to be like a foldable.
display, pretty much something like that. So
Exactly. And foldable phones are pretty much like two phones put together. And the size is what? Around 8 inches?
Yeah.
So we could probably expect the size of around 8 inches. Not great.
It's not tailored like this aspect ratio. It's not going to be tailored for, let's say, movies.
Definitely
so that's
not.
not designed to watch shows on. It's not for Netflix.
No.
Like an iPad, for example. It's more like smart home stuff.
Yeah, that's the main purpose. It's gonna control your smart lights, your smart doors, your garage door, everything smart you have in your home. So, but the other thing that's happening here that will be interesting to see is the moment that Apple launches this. And 2025 is the year of Apple Intelligence.
Okay.
So this will be, I
If
bet,
you say so.
we hope so. But this will probably be one other device that is also capable of doing the Apple Intelligence stuff using that new ChatGPT integration, so it's a lot more useful. And that's a great moment for Apple to launch this. And once again, it's about how many devices support Apple Intelligence, AI in general.
Yeah.
Because other companies just don't have that reach, and Apple wants to expand it. It wants to have the new Siri on your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac, your MacBook, your Apple Home Smart Display. And by the way, what do you think? What would they call it? What could be the name?
I have no idea, and there are no leaks, no rumors, anything regarding the name. I would.
Home Smart Display or
Home Smart.
HSD does not sound good.
It's probably not going to be the one. How about, it's not going to be I something for sure. That's not.
That's old. Yeah.
Tim Cook running away from that old school naming scheme, but it's probably be so Apple something.
Right.
And it's probably
Okay.
so. My number one suggestion is pretty bold, but considering that's the company which renamed AI to Apple Intelligence, it's pretty plausible. It's probably going to be like Apple Home.
Apple Home. Oh, that's
Home.
nice and simple. That's
Yeah.
nice. I would bet on something a bit more descriptive, maybe Apple Home Display.
Apple Home Display.
But what about something like Wall-E style? Because it has that robotic arm, and they probably are gonna want to stress that unique capability. Maybe the home robot,
Home robot.
the Apple Home robot.
Like the central use case of that product is said to be like a central hub that controls all of your other smart home accessories and products.
That's the main purpose.
That should be like the number one use case, right?
But the second one is also like, if it can follow you around, of course, you can jump in on a conference call on FaceTime, and you can just move around, like cook in the kitchen and move around, and it will follow you, and you can keep on talking with your family or someone, and always be in frame. So that's another use case, another possibility.
Yeah, but though it's probably definitely not targeted to like business conference calls, just because most of those are not done via FaceTime, and we don't know if it's gonna support, at least initially, other apps, because it's gonna run on a new OS.
A brand new operating system. Obviously, it's gonna be something similar to iPad OS.
Right.
We've like the current leak mentions it will support the Notes app. It will support like FaceTime and the Calendar app, obviously.
Photos,
yeah. And so those are obvious picks, but it will be a different OS, which for me is interesting. I did not expect. I would expect this to run on iPad OS, but obviously it's going to have less functionality. It's not going to have that multitasking. It's not going to have Stage Manager.
Many of the things it's not going to have. Some iPads don't have Stage Manager, so.
Yeah. What do you think about the processor for this thing? Will it have like an M series chip, or will it run on like an A series chip?
So a couple of ways that Apple can go here, because it likes to put its like in-house chips in all kinds of stuff that isn't necessarily consumer focused. For example, I think they have in their like the big monitor that they have, like the studio display, they have a something chipset inside it.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if they have it inside, it does serve some function there, but they don't talk about it that much.
Right.
It's not important for the user-facing side of the product, for the marketing. So I'm not sure if that, like if the Apple Home is going to have.
I have a new name candidate.
What is it?
The HomeBot.
HomeBot. That's a good one, actually.
That's a good one.
But
Huh?
Apple, being Apple, probably want to run away from bots and robots and that kind of thing.
Maybe.
They renamed artificial intelligence to Apple Intelligence. But it sounds cute.
So you're betting on like an A series chip that is a bit underpowered, but it's obviously not going to be the main focus of the presentation.
Because it's going to run, it's going to be a new OS, but something derived probably from iPad OS, so it's going to be the same architecture. It makes sense. They'll use some of their chips that they have on hand already, something like the least powerful that can get the job done.
And that can also support Apple Intelligence.
That can also, that's important.
So that means the A17 Pro, right?
Yeah.
The same chip as in the new iPad Mini.
Yeah.
And the new iPad Mini costs about $500. So if this is a similar kind of thing, we should expect like a 600-ish price point. And we should say that like this thing, the base that it's connected to, is also expected to have a speaker. That's the rumor.
Yeah,
so it's
gotta have a speaker.
It's gotta have a speaker, right? And this, I don't know if it's gonna be a powerful speaker that can replace a HomePod, but why not? Like
why not? Yeah.
Like at least replace a HomePod Mini.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, because that thing is stationary at your home, just like the HomePod.
Yeah, and you don't want to have both, like a HomePod next to that home display.
Apple wants you to have.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they would go that far.
They wouldn't object too much. But yeah, it makes sense. It's got, the rumor is, it's got to have like HomePod-like features.
Yeah.
Is it going to act like a HomePod? Probably. They have the tech. That's one like unique selling point for that product they can use as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how good the Echo Show something sounds like, but
it also has
they
a
can
speaker.
market that as a HomePod.
Yeah, and one final thing here is, so I'm not sure if this thing will actually support a keyboard and a mouse. So obviously the main form of interaction will be touch on a touch screen, but it will support the Notes app. So you can like see your grocery list or some recipes, but we'll be able to actually edit on this and write on it or browse on it using a keyboard. My bet is that it's a possibility because you already will have that chip. you have the capability, but it's not going to be the main use case. So it's going to be something very niche, and it might not even happen. It might not even support a keyboard.
Yeah, very, very possible. It might be even the case that the main way of communicating with, interacting with this device is going to be voice, not so much touch.
Yeah.
And that is like, to an extent, like the small screen that they're willing to put on it, like the square one.
Yeah.
And that thing is not something that you hold like that. It's put over there on the cupboard. So probably it's going to be like the main use case is going to be voice control.
Right. Okay. So guys, let us know in the comments what you think Apple will call this. Will be the HomeBot, Apple HomeBot?
Apple Home.
Apple Home Display.
Apple Home Display.
Let us know.
HomePad. That was the other one.
That was the other one. Maybe you have a better suggestion.
Maybe they're just going to discontinue the HomePod and replace it with the HomePad.
Why not?
Yeah. Okay, the next big, or not so big, mid-sized thing from Apple. But moving on to iOS 18.2.
Which is all about bananas and apples.
Bananas, apples.
And
what
Reese's
is that?
peanut butter cups.
All right. Delicious upgrade to iOS, as we mentioned. So it's already, the beta is out now.
We have the developer beta right here installed on the iPhone 16 Plus. So it's iOS 18.2 developer beta.
Right. If you're feeling lucky and adventurous and just can't wait for trying out some new Apple Intelligence features, you can probably install it, right?
Yeah, you can install it, but it's not really, it's still a developer beta. It's early beta, not recommended. The public beta is probably gonna be coming over the next month, which would be a better suggestion.
Yeah.
And the final release is expected in December. So this is when these bigger new Apple Intelligence features are finally coming. But we already have them here, and we've already used them for a while. So
which are the biggest ones? Because we already have like writing tools in this initial release.
We have the notification summary also already.
The summaries, okay.
But none of the big stuff. So here I would say it's 5 new features that are really big.
Okay.
The biggest one is the ChatGPT integration, which is now already available. It's here, and it also arrives with that new Siri animation. It's kind of like have that glow. That's really
it's glow time.
It's glow time. And
so how does that work? The ChatGPT integration? Is it like you ask Siri something, if she or he cannot answer, it prompts like, do you want me to ask ChatGPT or?
Well, that's one way it could work, but the best way to make it work is just your query starts with using ChatGPT, tell me about this, or generate an essay, or generate an email about next Monday taking me day off, and using ChatGPT, and it will generate you that email, and you can just copy and paste it, modify it a little bit. And it's really neatly integrated. You just hold on the power button, you bring ChatGPT and Siri with ChatGPT. And we should say that here, the new Siri, which is the more powerful version of Siri, is not available yet. It's coming next year, but the ChatGPT integration is here. So if you're asking your phone about specifically phone-related stuff, the new Siri is still not here, so it's not gonna know it.
And when we say the new Siri, that is the one they advertised at the September keynote, and it's the one that knows all about you, your personal context, remembers stuff about you.
Exactly.
So it's way more aware. Whereas here, Siri with ChatGPT, it can carry out ChatGPT's type of
Yeah,
things.
it's like a portal to ChatGPT, which looks great and works very seamlessly.
Okay.
So let's try it out. Let's what should we ask it to do? Maybe let's try with give me a recipe for apple pie using ChatGPT. So it's like 10 seconds, and here you go. Here's the recipe. Right here, and you have the copy button, so you can just easily copy it.
So it's like a UI for ChatGPT, easily integrated with the iPhone.
Yeah, and remember when Apple first showed it, it always gave you that prompt, do you want to use ChatGPT? And the good news is you can actually disable that, go into the settings and disable it, so you don't have to always tap on a button, so that's easier. So that's the big feature, like ChatGPT integration is really cool.
Really cool stuff. What else do we have?
The second feature is also related to ChatGPT and Apple Intelligence, it's visual intelligence. And for this is where this
It's big. They have a whole new button for that.
Exactly. That's where the camera control actually comes into play. You long press the camera button, start the camera, and when you long press it, you automatically trigger visual intelligence. So let's give a quick demo. Here on the table, as you can see, an apple, banana, and Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh, I feel like I'm on stage giving the next demo. So let's do it. So visual intelligence, long press. Take a picture. Oh, let me take a picture.
And you're taking a picture of both the banana and the peanut butter cups, right?
Right. So now what I do is just tap the S button, and it's going directly into ChatGPT, which is analyzing the picture. And here you go, the answer. Reese's peanut butter cups are a popular American candy featuring milk chocolate shell filled with a creamy peanut butter. And then it also recognized the bananas, and it continues. Bananas are a nutritious fruit rich in potassium, vitamin C, and dietary fiber, making them a healthy snack choice when paired with a sweet treat like Reese's. And here you can follow up, and you can ask it something like, can you recommend some recipes with both of these? So it once again goes to the cloud, so it takes an extra few seconds. It's not immediate. But here you go. You can create a decadent banana and peanut butter smoothie by blending a ripe banana and a couple of Reese's peanut butter cups, a cup of milk, and some ice cubes. Right. So there you have it.
Well, the cool thing here is that this thing is not limited to just what is this, and what is this.
Yeah.
It's like it can, because it's AI, not Apple Intelligence, but AI as in ChatGPT.
ChatGPT AI.
It recognizes with its visual intelligence. It recognizes multiple products, everything actually that you have in the frame. Actually, I'm pretty sure that if we have like the Z Fold 6 next to the banana here, it's gonna recognize them and probably suggest a recipe, including the banana and the Z Fold. That's all we had in the fridge. So what can I do with it? And you can probably blend them.
A Galaxy smoothie.
Galaxy banana smoothie.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I like that. And you can also just start visual intelligence and do like a Google search, which will trigger Google Lens. So it's basically both an interface for ChatGPT and for Google Lens. So it's quite useful already. And I like this. I'm not sure if this is going to be something that you use every day. It's going to be more like a gimmick feature that you occasionally start using. But with time, this is just a much easier interface than you have currently with Google Lens, which is a bit more tricky. And this is better integrated.
Yeah, that's very well integrated and easily accessible.
Yeah, and just the press of a button.
That's important to such types of features, right? When you see something.
Yeah.
You don't want to be bothered. I need to unlock the phone. Where was Google Lens in some directory folder in there? Find it. Learn how to use it. At the moment, you just want to press a button and tell me what's that.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's really important for those features to be accessible.
Okay.
So then you have 3 other features that are also quite big, but unfortunately, they are still not available here on this iPhone. We've already requested them. You can request them, but it takes Apple a couple of days or weeks to approve your request.
Is that going to be how it works on the final version?
I'm not sure actually about this.
Interesting stuff. Yeah. Just for the beta.
So these 3 features are Image Playground, which is image generation using AI, and it creates these cute images. So you can say generated.
You can tell it what to generate.
Yeah, you can tell it generate a dinosaur riding a motorcycle.
Okay.
And we'll do it in a quirky.
And it's gonna generate a completely safe looking dinosaur. And then You can use it to create some sort of cartoony portraits.
Yeah, I think that's also an option. And I'm sure it will test this in more detail, and it will be really curious how this works. And maybe we can show you in the next episode. But yeah, this
If we get approved.
Yeah, and the other two features are Genmoji, which is basically similar to Image Playground, but instead of an image, you create a custom emoji. So you can react to someone with,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Emoji. Right.
you can react with your own custom emoji, your own thing. You can create a crazy animal.
Right. And use it like to reply on stuff.
Yeah.
On messages,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, use it in messages.
Just use it in messages, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool stuff.
And it will all follow the beautiful style of Apple emoji, which I have to say, like, I'm a huge fan of Apple emoji and the drawing style there, because Samsung emoji, the style they use, or Google, the default
All
emoji,
of those look way worse.
they look way worse.
I don't know why.
I don't know. It's been like this for years, and yeah.
And you maybe, if you're used to using emojis, maybe when creating some document, for example, and put like beautiful little illustrations using the built-in emojis on an Apple computer or on iPhone or an iPad, and then you open that document, or let's say on Windows or on Android, and suddenly it just looks
totally
so
different.
bad, so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a cool feature that's also coming. And the last one is called Image Wand, which is also
Image Wand.
Image Wand, which also allows you to kind of generate an image and place it right in the middle of a document, and it uses the
Context
around it to create an
That's very
image,
cool.
which sounds magical.
Yeah,
like it sounds cool. Again, we have to try it and see how it actually works. But these are 5 quite exciting features, and there are also smaller ones that will be coming very soon, and already we have them on the developer beta.
Awesome stuff. So just to summarize, so right now we have 18.1, which is the initial version.
That's in public beta.
That's in public beta, but it's launching like when? When is it launching?
Actually launching like we're recording this on Monday, October 28th, and it's launching today.
Yeah, so by the time it gets to you, it's gonna...
You're already probably gonna have it, yeah.
Yeah, next week. And then the bigger, actually, update with more Apple Intelligence features coming this December.
iOS 18.2.
18.2 with all
And
these
then
features.
the final version of Siri and like the grand vision is happening probably around March or April 2025, which will be iOS 18.3. So it's like 3 stages for the big Apple Intelligence rollout.
Alrighty. So are we ready to move on to something? To the real deal. To the real deal.
Let's talk about futuristic phones.
Let's talk about the future, and for some of us, the present, some of us who are living that sort of life already. Now, as all of us know, the best and most awesome foldable phone out there, the OnePlus Open, is getting a successor.
Okay, let's start this. Let's rewind. Why do you like the OnePlus Open so much? Tell us the full story.
It's the best and most awesome foldable phone. Why? I don't know why. It has great design, great performance. The software works very well. The Honor Magic V2 3 software is also great, by the way, tailored to the foldable experience. This one as well. The Samsung one I find a bit iffy and not to translate very well to the foldable yet. They'll probably fix that next year. But for now, I find this more seamless. Has a tremendously great camera.
The best camera on the foldable.
The best camera on the foldable, I guess. It's very strong, very nice, natural looking images. Thank God. Otherwise, this huge camera bump is going to be very annoying. But now you know at least you're getting something in return.
We should say also the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro has a very strong camera set, but yeah, out of the phones available in the West, this is the one.
That's the foldable camera.
Yeah.
And then what else? I don't know. Great performance. I like the design very much. Just a great platform, great package.
No crease.
no crease on the display. Yeah, the mechanism works very, very well.
Yeah.
All of that is just very, very strong product overall. So that is why I think the Open is currently king.
Okay.
And it didn't get a successor this year.
Yeah, which was strange. We were expecting like such a strong product, like best foldable phone award by multiple people and publications.
Because it was so great.
Yeah.
Oppo was like the original maker of the OnePlus Open, because you can think of it like that. There is a phone called Oppo Find N3.
Bad name.
Bad name. And that phone is available in China.
Right.
And that company, Oppo, has what is it? Western arm, Western sister company called OnePlus. And so that's pretty much the same, almost the same phone with very minor changes, like the Find N3 called OnePlus Open. Now, is it Chinese superstition? I don't know.
Okay.
But you know how they're skipping very often that number 4.
Oh, okay.
So we've seen that before with other phones. I believe there was no, for example, I think there was no Xiaomi Mi 4.
Right.
They went from 3 to 5 or something like that. That's when we kind of learned about this.
And the same thing with the OnePlus, actually. They didn't have a OnePlus 4. You have OnePlus 3, OnePlus 3T, and a OnePlus 5.
Yeah, the Chinese love their superstitions. And so that is because it turns out the number 4, when you pronounce it in Chinese, more specifically Cantonese,
right?
If that is how you pronounce Cantonese. So when you say 4, it sounds very much like death.
Oh.
And that to them, obviously, is a bad omen.
Oh.
And so to the point that like tech companies are skipping the number 4 and renaming, they're just jumping to the next available number, which is fine.
Crazy. That's
so,
crazy.
and maybe Oppo is extra superstitious because they skipped the whole year. They said, no, if we call it like the Oppo Find N5 in 2024, it's going to be still a bad omen. So let's just wait it out.
That's crazy.
Until 2025, and we'll keep going from there. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's because the OnePlus Open or the Find N3 were so great that it didn't need a successor this year. But in Q1 2025,
very soon.
Very, very soon. It's coming. It's coming. The Oppo Find N5, presumably to be soon followed up by the OnePlus Open 2.
So basically, the Oppo Find N5 will be like the blueprint for the OnePlus Open 2, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can, to a high degree of certainty, we can be sure that it's going to be more or less the same product. Yeah. So what is it? The leak is coming from our favorite digital chat station.
Another great source, yeah.
It's a short and sweet, Weibo publication, so I'll just read it. So here's what we know, in short, in the words of the leaker themselves, about the next OnePlus Open. A large folding engineering machine. The general design continues the previous generation. The screen size has been increased.
Oh, okay.
The rear is centered with a large round lens, kind of like this one.
Same as design.
50 megapixel Hasselblad master tone main camera, 50 megapixel plus 50 megapixel 3x periscope telephoto. So they're keeping they're going to have the ultra wide, obviously. It's going to be a new one, 50 megapixel. The main camera is new one from, I believe, 48 or 64 to a new 50 megapixel sensor. And the new 50 megapixel 3x again, periscope zoom.
So you have three 50 megapixel cameras.
Three 50 megapixel cameras. They're going to be new sensors, so presumably upgraded.
Yeah.
The battery is going to be foldable phones usually have dual batteries in both parts, so it's 2460 milliamp hours plus another 3105 milliamp hours. So for a total of about 5,600, 5,700 milliamp hours.
Isn't that a huge number for a foldable?
So that is a big increase from last year, from this one, from the first Open, which was Not sure how
47?
4,700 I think milliamp hours. So it's a huge upgrade. I would guess that's because, as we already know about from this new battery technology, the silicon carbon one that we talked about in previous episode. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch and learn about the future of battery tech.
Because I'll also like spoil a little bit, the OnePlus Open 2 is also gonna be slimmer,
Yeah,
right? So it must be some new technology. So it's slimmer and it still gets a much larger battery.
way slimmer, bigger. It's not gonna be bigger. It's gonna be a bigger capacity battery.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about these silicon carbon batteries, that in the same space you can get more battery inside it. So, supports wireless charging, that is new.
That's new.
Yeah, the first one did not have wireless charging. This one will probably have it, and rumor is it's gonna also have this new Qi support for magnetic
Oh, the
wireless
Qi 2 standard.
Qi 2 standard, yeah.
And we should also say, like, real quick here, the OnePlus 13 that's also coming soon is also expected to be like the first mainstream phone with the Qi 2 MagSafe charging. And so we see like OnePlus really embracing that new standard also on the Open 2. That's good news.
Yeah, it's very good news. And then we have Snapdragon 8 Extreme Edition, which is the Chinese name for the OnePlus 8 Elite.
Snapdragon 8 Elite.
What did I say? OnePlus 8? Yeah, it's the Snapdragon, of course. 8 Elite. So the newest just announced chipset. And customized USB-C port. Now we don't know what that is.
Yeah. Probably just
the speculation here is that it's customized because the phone, when you unfold it, it's gonna be very extremely thin. So it has to be custom designed, maybe just to fit it in there. I don't know. The Magic V3 is about probably the same thickness.
Yeah.
It's 9.23 millimeters. So when you open it, but the Type-C port fits quite well in there. So maybe it's the internal design of the port. So maybe nothing you can see in the external.
That makes sense.
The main feature is extreme slimness. And then he says, and it has everything. So that's probably the second biggest fan of the series. Yeah, extreme slimness. It's going to be 9 point something.
Right.
We don't know.
Under 10 millimeters.
Under 10 millimeters, but if it's extreme slimness, it has to approach the lower end of the 9 millimeters thinness just to match the Magic V3.
Yeah. So even slimmer, like for people in the US, even slimmer than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, which is 10 point something millimeters.
Yeah.
And the Pixel is already like the slimmest phones available in Europe and in the US. And this is gonna be maybe 9.2, 9.3.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a noticeable difference. I really like that change.
Yeah, that's gonna be great, especially if you want to put a case on that phone, which you probably want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, it really helps. It's approaching normal phone thickness. And that's what we know about it. So coming Q1, not sure if the Open 2 is going to also arrive in Q1, maybe a little bit later, because they're going to first launch the Chinese one, which is the Oppo Find N5. But these are going to be the specs, improvements all around, tremendous Snapdragon 8 Elite, Extreme, whatever it is, chip, bigger battery, new cameras, extreme thinness.
Yeah.
Just a perfect follow-up.
And we already saw last week OnePlus unveiled the new version of Oxygen OS, which also has some AI features. So good news is previously OnePlus did not have any.
They added some AI with the OnePlus Open Apex edition, which was a very strange edition because it's the same phone, just with a red back cover and AI.
And so on the Open 2, it's going to have more AI.
It's going to have even more AI. For some reason, OnePlus did not release an update with AI features for the original Open. Kind of a sneaky move by OnePlus. But when you mentioned the Fold, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and its thickness, that reminded me that Samsung too can make a reasonably thin foldable phone. Turns out.
I doubt that.
It can, and people in South Korea can attest to that. It's the Samsung Galaxy Fold Special Edition. It's not even the Fold 6.
Okay.
It's the Fold Special Edition, and it's only sold in South Korea, and there are no known plans by Samsung to bring this phone internationally.
Oh, that's strange.
For some very, very strange reason that we don't know.
So what's special about it?
The special thing about it is, first, most importantly, it's way thinner. So
Finally.
this one, the Fold 6, which we liked, it's a pretty decent upgrade to the 5, but obviously not quite up there with the Magic V3s and other, like the 9 Pro Fold, for example,
Yeah.
in terms of thickness. So this one is 12.1 millimeters when folded.
Which is not
Not the thinnest,
the thinnest.
let's say.
Probably the thickest.
For a more like the thickest. And then the Z Fold Special Edition is 10.6. So they're bringing this from 12.1 to 10.6 millimeters. It's a great reduction. It's about the same as the Pixel 9 Pro Fold.
Which is already a decently slim phone.
Yeah.
It's not like those record-breaking Chinese phones, but it's
pretty decently slim, foldable phone. It makes a difference. It's also a little bit lighter, 3 grams lighter, which is not a lot, but it also has a bigger screen.
okay.
So the cover screen on this one, the original Z Fold 6, is 6.4 inches in diagonal. The new one, special edition, is 6.5 inches, but that translates to a bigger difference. When you open it up, this one has a 7.6 inch display.
Okay.
It's this thing, 7.6 inches. The special edition has an 8-inch main display. So it's a bigger phone, a bigger display, slightly, ever so slightly lighter, considerably thinner. Wi-Fi 7, that is another upgrade. This has Wi-Fi 6E, so that's the first Wi-Fi 7 such product. And it has the same battery, the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 4 Galaxy chipset. Cost about more or less $2,000 in South Korean money.
Well, a bit more expensive than
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just because
slightly
in South
better.
Korea. I don't know. That's like if you convert the price directly from yuan.
Okay.
Not yuan, but what do they have?
The won.
What was that?
Korean won.
Won, yeah, Korean won. What else? It has upgraded RAM.
Okay.
So all folds up to this point, from the Fold 1,
Okay.
actually, up until the Fold 6, they have 12 gigs of RAM.
I did not know that.
The special edition, has 16 gigs of RAM. It's only offered in 512 gigabytes of storage, which is a good balance. And that's pretty much the whole story. It has a custom design. It's different. It looks different.
Yeah.
Very cool design. If you can find it anywhere, just to look pictures at it, that's what you can do with it.
Why do you think they did that? Is it just to like test if people in their home market like this model better than the original, or what do you think is the reason just to release this phone now?
I honestly
putting you on the spot.
have absolutely no idea. Now, if you think logically, which is a very screwed up logic, but maybe it's because of some logistical issues. Maybe it's gonna cost them. Maybe they will probably need to raise the price a lot if they have to release that phone outside of Korea for some reason. Maybe just to bring it to the States, to bring it to Europe, it's gonna raise it like maybe a couple $100 because the Z Fold 6 already got them more expensive. We were waiting for a cheaper price and they made it more expensive. What was it? $1,800? $1,800.
Yeah.
So that thing, it already costs to about $2,000 in Korea. So if they have to bring it to internationally, it's probably gonna get even more expensive, and they probably figure no use doing that.
Right, that's a possibility.
I guess. And then the other reason is probably that they don't want to annoy their home audience in South Korea too much. They don't want to lose the patriotic audience there,
Right,
the power consumer base.
We should say like the Fold is particularly popular in Korea. So it's a big market, probably bigger than most other markets for this particular foldable form factor. So in some way it makes sense to release it first and maybe even only there.
Yeah, we can see there's some sort of like a country loyalty
Yeah.
or patriotism,
definitely,
if you
yeah.
will. Because you can see that if you look at the most sold brands in China,
Yeah.
like that's the only place where this chart is dominated by Chinese companies.
Yeah.
They like their own companies. And so in Korea, Samsung, maybe they figured out, okay, so it costs a lot, it's $2,000, we can make it and sell it here, and we can work the power base in homeland, Korea.
Yeah, I was thinking if like it's kind of an A/B test. Like, okay, you have the regular edition.
Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, which one would you actually buy, guys? Because we've been doing this thing for a while and sticking with the same form factor, and sales are not great. So you're here our most loyal audience. Here you have the first design. Here's the second one. Which one would you take? I don't know.
Even if it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Even if it's maybe it makes sense. That product at this point makes sense if they said, because Samsung is a big company.
Yeah.
They have to spend. They have a lot of expenses. They have to spend a lot in marketing and whatever, in payroll, if you will. So in a way, for them to make and sell a product may cost more than compared to some Chinese companies, let's say.
Yeah.
Chinese competitors. So they figured out maybe it makes sense if we just ship it here locally, but maybe the sales numbers just don't add up if they have to bring it outside of Korea at this point. And so, yeah. There, we figured it out. That is why. That is why you will not get the Z Fold Special Edition outside of Korea. It's sad, but it's true. This year, maybe next year, at some point.
Yeah, maybe
The Z Fold 7.
Yeah, we're already hearing the first Galaxy Fold 7 rumors, and those are mentioning two models, the Fold 7 and Fold 7 Ultra. Allegedly, it's still way too early, but who knows? We might get two Fold phones, and one of them might be similar to this special edition that we have.
Might be, as you said, they might be trialing this whole design in Korea just to see what happens. It's gonna come to the rest of the world next year in some form.
It's possible.
Yeah, for sure, it's gonna be. People are going to be very pissed if the Z Fold 7 is not at least as thin as the special edition version.
Yeah,
that's going to be very creepy by Samsung.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good move.
Yeah, that is it. And what a high note to end this episode on.
Yeah.
Right? That's the best point to end it. Guys, thank you for watching this latest episode of the PhoneArena show. Be sure to hit the like, hit the bell, comment, ask any sort of question, let us know.
And a quick teaser about next week's episode, which is also gonna be an exciting one. We have the biggest week right now for launches of phones in China. So all the big brands, Xiaomi, OnePlus, Oppo, everyone is bringing their best new phones.
Vivo.
We've seen phones from Vivo, from Honor. So next episode, we're definitely gonna talk.
What are they launching? Their new flagships?
The flagships.
Okay.
All of them
New
are
flagships.
launching it like in the span of just 1 week. So next week, we're gonna recap that. It's gonna be an interesting episode.
Crazy times in China. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.